Isn't that soothing? Like, it's like a hip-hop jazz inspiring mix. Welcome to another episode of Just Toy Talking Too Much, where I call this storytellers, story time, and give you some unique experiences and stories of some things that I've experienced in my life. And they could be when I've worked behind the scenes in the entertainment industry, to family, friends, shenanigans, drama, my move out here to Atlanta. If you're just now catching on, I am originally from Southern California, a little suburb called Gardena, California, which is south of Los Angeles. And it's closer to the beach, where we could, 15 minutes to the beach, Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, El Segundo, Rosecrans. Like, there's so many ways for us to get to the beach in a matter of 15 minutes. So that's where I'm from. So I am going to get into our bedtime story. Hopefully you're 18 and over, preferably 21 and over. These are going to be stories from my past. I always promise to spit and spew my truth. Maybe I can help someone of things, what to do and what not to do, because anyone can teach you two things: what to do and what not to do. And I live through my life as a living example. So this one is called My Invite to a Swinger Party. Okay, so I'm still new to Atlanta, and as in a previous episode of a bedtime story I told, I was saying how the men that I met when I moved here treated me as if I was some celebrity. Like, I had the red carpet, and men just were like plenty, like hungry, thirsty to meet the men that I met. No, I'm not want to say all the men in Atlanta. I don't want to categorize. So I'm still new to Atlanta, and they were cutting hours on our job. It was slow, and they were asking people who wanted to leave early. And, my money was cool, my money was right, so I was like, they volunteered to leave early. So I did, and for the sake of the privacy of certain people, I will not use their actual names in this story. I will just refer to them as he, her, and him, or whomever, or whatever. So this particular time that we volunteered to leave was myself and another young lady, much younger than me, probably at that particular time maybe about 2 or 3 years older than my daughter, which was probably like 19 or maybe like 20 years old at the time. She had this bohemian cultural, she was very sharp, very intellectual, very progressive with the way that she ate, she thought, her raising, things of that nature. So that's what appealed to me in meeting her. So she asked me that I partake of the medicinal, and I said, yeah. So she says, well, my father has some, so we're going to go down to his house. I said, well, I don't know where you live, but I might be too far for you to drop me off at home. So she asked me, it's cool, everything was fine, so she took me there. So we get to her father's house, and beautiful home, beautiful, gorgeous home in West End, historic West End, where on the sidewalks there's bricks. So we walk in, introductions are made, and we immediately, all of us just start talking. There was another couple that lived in his home with him at the time. I guess that they were renting rooms, whatever the case may be. And he had an actual sunroom outside of the house that he was renting. He didn't like for people to partake of the medicinal inside of his home. He didn't want his home to smell like that. So that's what he utilized the sunroom for. No problem. I understood. So we're talking, and he's getting to know me, asking me about Cali, my move here, yada yada, small talk, businesses, and networking, and the various things I can get into that were my interests, my creativity. At that particular time, I just didn't know. I was just here, and I'm just trying to eat and pay the rent. At this particular time, I'm still new to Atlanta. Like, I don't have any idea of where I'm going, what I'm doing, as of yet. So while we're talking, this other gentleman is in there with the daughter, myself, the father, and he slides over a flyer on the table. So I picked up the flyer, and he said, you should come join us. And he said it's a, what is it called? A meet and greet. And so I go, oh, okay. So because we were speaking about mixers and getting to know people in Atlanta, and he could introduce me to this, that, and the third, and all kind of stuff. Because I was actually older than him with a daughter that age. He had a plethora of kids. He was like mid to late 40s, and he had like a lot of kids. Like a lot of kids, seriously. And he started off very young to have a child, her age and his age, and I was maybe about, I don't know, was he? I know he's older than me. I think he's like 4 or 5 years older than me. He's like 4 or 5 years older than me. I'm sorry, not younger. He's 4 or 5 years older than me, and I'm like, wow, all these kids. But anyways, moving on. So I'm looking at the flyer, and I look at the front. I read the front, and I'm looking for information of where this meet and greet is. You know what I mean? Like, where is it going to be? Then I turn the flyer over, and all there is an email address. Immediately, and I do not know why, but immediately I knew that this was an invite to a swinger party. I just knew this had to do something with swinging. Because when I got to Atlanta, like, the men that came at me were extremely sexual. The men that came, I had men coming up to me and coming on to me at the job so strong. Like when somebody just bathes themselves, literally drip themselves with cologne, and it's overpowering. And that absolutely amazed me, because in the previous bedtime story I mentioned that, I consider myself an attractive woman, but not like Janet Jackson, red carpet, Holly Berry fine, you know what I mean? So it was just amazing. These men that just pounce literally on me out in the streets, on my MySpace account, because we had MySpace at that time, and at the job. It was just absolutely amazing. Not just me, but just all the women, the affairs, but those are other stories. Let's stick to this bedtime story. So, I immediately knew it was a swinger party. And so I was like, oh, okay. I left the flyer on the table. 2 weeks go by, and the young lady asked me, she says, hey, they asked us to leave again, and we leave again. And we got a half a day in anyway, so she said, let's go smoke. Let's partake of the medicinals. So we did. And we went back to her father's. This was the night of the party. This was the night of the party. So when I get there, her father has a whole different energy, a whole different vibe. Like, I'm trying to hit that. Okay. So he invited me. He said his party was that night. He invited me. It was a Friday. And he invited me. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have a car. I can't get here. So I figured that would be enough. And he says, oh, no problem. I'll have my daughter just go take you home and bring you back. And I'll give her gas. You just have to come back now. And you'll be my guest. And I said, oh, well, then I don't have any money. He says, oh, well, then I'll pay for you. And I'm like, that's when I said be my guest too soon. So I'm like, there was no way to turn back. I mean, I could have still said no, but I wanted to go. Because in my mind, I had been thinking of something, brewing up a hustle anyways. Because of all this energy and different things that I was learning very, very quickly, I might add, because my soul, my inner being for discernment and finding out things and knowing things and having to catch on very quickly instead of being like, stuck on stupid. Though crazy things still happen. However, I got dressed. The daughter met my daughter, and they clicked because my daughter's in the same thing. They were talking about all this other stuff on whole other levels. I didn't get dressed up. I didn't get dressed up. I didn't put on makeup. I didn't do any of that. I put on jeans and a shirt. I was not going, and I spit my truth. I did not have any sexual relations at this party. I stayed in the sunroom, and I counted how this man's money. I knew what he was charging to get in, so I counted his money when he were letting people in. I was sitting, I was partaking with the many people that were coming into this sunroom, this space. And so I just watched and I learned and I picked up and I saw what he was doing, and I knew my vision, and I was seeing different things. And I used to work in the entertainment industry and do parties and club events and promote concerts and things of that nature. So I knew about the party planning is totally just small. It's minute in comparison to doing a huge event of sort, or a club event back in my day. So I'm there, and I stayed down there for maybe to like about 2 o'clock, 2 in the morning, and that's when I decided to go upstairs to see what the layout was. If people were actually, it had to be, because the place was packed. It was packed in the sunroom, it was packed in the living room, it was packed in the kitchen, it was packed in the family room, or the little den. It was, there were people, not packed, but there were people. So I knew there were people upstairs. So there were black lights in all 3 of the bedrooms, and there were people getting it on, getting busy. So I watched, and I probably spent maybe 3 to 5 minutes at each door. I came back downstairs and I found my host, and I said I was ready to go home, and he could get me home. And he says, well, hey, things are going to be winding down in a little bit. No, he said that, and then he said, give me about 30, 40, he said 30 minutes. I got to just take care of some stuff and handle some things like that. Can you hold tight for like 30 to 40 minutes? I said, sure. So I went back in the sunroom, and that 30 to 45 minutes went by fast because I started talking to someone there, and then people started leaving. So now it's like about 3 in the morning, and so he comes into the sunroom and he says, are you sure you want to leave? And he's hitting on me and the whole thing. Now he does stay there with his partner, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't want to get involved, even though I know that this is their lifestyle. This is what they do. They're open to this, or what have you. It just was not meant for me to partake and partook of this event, because I was there to learn and to observe in my way and to see what the money was like. And that's the end of this bedtime story. Storytellers, my story time of my invite to a swinger party on the love. And I'll tell you the stories of when I started doing swinger parties in Atlanta as a side hustle. Stay tuned for that. I can be reached at www.justtoytalking2much.com, where we talk, we'll talk, talk with you, talk with your friends. This bedtime storyteller series is brought to you by 7 High Production, MP Entertainment, and they do social media marketing, website design, PR, consulting, marketing. Check them out at www.deliciouspleasureEntertainment.com. They can be found on Facebook and Twitter, as well as I can be found at Just Toy Written Expressions on Facebook, my website as well, Just Toy Talking Too Much as well, and IG, Just Toy Talking Too Much. And also Instagram is a sponsor. Living Life in the Glamorous Land of Women's Boutique. Right now they are having a 50% off summer sale, their entire website. Summer sale now. So we don't know when you're going to get this. Anyways, take care. And good night.